In 2007, Jerry Sibley lost his 18-year-old son, Jordan. Please welcome Advocate Jerry Sibley to speak for the advocates.
Good morning. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, AAA. Mary told me I had maximum of 2.5 minutes, but I've done some calculating, and some people were a little short, so I think I have about 30 minutes to go. So, my name is Jerry Sibley. I will always be a grieving father. This day has certainly been a long time coming for me and our wonderful group of advocates. My journey began nearly 13 years ago on the eve of my son Jordan's funeral. My lobbying effort began that night when I spent 2 hours on WBZ talking with Jordan Rich. Jordan asked me, what was I going to do to prevent other families walking in my shoes? I said I was going to try and get legislation passed in order to prevent such senseless tragedies for other families in the future. We got a no texting law passed in 2010, but it did not result in many citations due to the challenges of trying to differentiate texting from phoning. I was then united with other families who had lost children, parents, siblings, and other loved ones in distracted driving crashes throughout the United States and in Massachusetts. Forces were joined with Jeff Larson, former president of Safe Roads Alliance, Mary McGuire of AAA, and then Emily Stein as the new president of Safe Roads. Emily came in and helped organize our core activities for our group of advocates. Emily Stein had lost her father, Howard, and it was through her drive and organizational ability that truly helped to give our loved ones a voice and keep all of us on a singular path and direction. There was no easy task, I can assure you. Over the past many years, we were joined by other grieving families. Tom Branley, who lost his beautiful daughter, Katie, while she was crossing the street. Anna and Rich Leviton, who couldn't be with us today, but they lost their daughter, Merritt, while she was on a cross-country biking tour. We worked with survivors like Jillian Kaplan. She nearly lost her life as a result of her major injuries. Jillian amazingly called back and joined our group to help get this legislation passed. Unfortunately, the list goes on and on. We gained members in the worst possible way. This was a group that no one wanted to join for obvious reasons. We failed and failed again at getting our precious legislation passed. We had some near misses, but in 13 years of trying, we simply could not get to the finish line. There was more than just being personal for the advocates, and we were not going to be deterred just because some members of the legislature said no. In 2019, the tide began to shift. Governor Baker, Speaker DeLeo, they all began to support our worthy cause. Legislators like Senator Mark Montigny, Representative Joe Wagner, Leader Donato, Senator Paul Feedy, and Senate President Karen Slifka heard our cries. Even after both the Senate and the House passed the bill, it still required another major obstacle and hurdle to get it to the governor's desk. Well, as we all know, we got it done, and on November 25th, Governor Baker signed into law Massachusetts Bill number H3793, making it a requirement to use hands-free while driving. On that day, Massachusetts joined 21 other states in the passage of a hands-free law and made the entire region of New England hands-free. We would not have achieved our success without the help of our wonderful news media. Thank you, each and every one. Please know that we appreciate all that you've done for our cause. How many times can an individual say that their actions deeply impacted the thread of society? How many people can say that they've saved a life? Today, We all begin to save lives by the enforcement of this wonderful piece of legislation. We need to send a very, very loud message to the citizens of Massachusetts that they have to change the way they drive. People die because of this type of reckless behavior, and this law must be enforced by both the police and the judiciary. Education is paramount to the success of this new legislation. And our responsibility does not stop at the mere passage of this bill. The law is for all drivers and not just the newer, inexperienced drivers. There is no safe way to break this law. On February 23rd, this law will go into effect, and police need to be vigorous and vigilant in their enforcement. And education of this major piece of legislation has to be throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Can we prevent every distracted driving crash? Of course not. But imagine if the crash that this legislation prevents saves the lives of one of your loved ones. That'd be a pretty good day's work, don't you all think? We need a bigger podium there. We know that our loved ones would be proud of our work. And I will conclude today by repeating the words that I say every time I present about distracted driving. We've done good, Jordan. And we've done good, Katie, Howard, Merritt, and all the others who are loved and dearly missed. Rest in peace.
Thank you so much, Jerry. I know it's not easy for you to talk about Jordan, and ironically, Jordan Sibley died in 2007 after he crashed into a tree in my front yard in Norton, Massachusetts. And Jerry and I met about a year later. So I feel like today, with the passage of this law, that we've come full circle since that terrible tragedy in 2007. So thank you, Jerry. Certainly, Jerry, Emily, and Tom.